Right, welcome to another Off the Job episode. We have a couple of guests in today. We have Sergeant Dave Catlow, from what police area?
Met Police, so Bexley
area. And also we have Shoaib Awan, also known as the gas expert on social media, and the man who's behind all the tool theft rallies, etc. What you're seeing lately, and we just grabbed them, didn't we? We just been to one. We see come down, have an interview. We want to know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? But we like to get to know Dave because Dave, you massively behind all this. So how long have you been in the police force, Dave? And why did you get in the police force?
I'm not sure why I got in it, to be honest. I initially went for the fire brigade.
Did you?
Police were playing more money at the time.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
enough fires about that.
Possibly. Commission. I joined the police 23 and a bit years ago now. Just come up, 23 and a half years.
Yeah.
And started off southeast area around Bromley. Did most of my career initially on team in Bromley, then moved over to Bexley, then went to Lewisham on response team for the second time round over at Lewisham, and now back on Bexley on safe and neighbourhood teams.
So you got a bit of experience there.
Yeah, I've done a lot of the various roles within sort of frontline policing, from sort of proactive and schools and safe neighbourhoods and so
the nicer areas then Bromley, Bexley.
You can't
be that bad.
Can't grumble that bad. Lewisham was quite busy, but it's been varied. Yeah.
You said you had a background in trades, not as a tradesman, but you was involved in some sort of trade. Yeah,
I left college and wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so I started working for electrical wholesalers on the counter, front counter sales. Did that for a good 4, 5, 6 years, something like that, before I joined the police.
It's crazy how it aligns, isn't it? Now you in the police and involved with the tool theft side.
That's probably where I got the sort of passion for it in a way. I remember that banter. I got on sort of really well on that trade counter and enjoyed that banter and working with the trade.
Oh yeah.
So.
Did you have any tricks played on you back then when you was a kid?
Maybe a few. Yeah, with the long
board ladders,
long weight.
Yeah.
Packet of amps.
The usual stuff.
Schweb's
he's not been through all that yet. We've got to get him on some of them.
Is it?
Still waiting for that, isn't he?
Skirting ladder and.
But has it been in the police then for 20 years? What's the?
It's.
What do you do in the police?
At the moment,
you arrest people. You do. That's what they do, innit?
What do you do in the police?
Not as many now.
What do you do in the police?
Don't see you guys around.
That's not. He's not a statement. What do you do in the police?
They work from home.
Genuine question. Remote working now.
I wish. It's varied. It really is varied. 1 minute we could be doing plainclothes work, and another we're doing high visibility patrols, reassurance patrols, engagement like today, doing the tool theft stuff, nighttime economy patrols, drunken roll rounds, not us, them. It varies.
If you can share, what's the craziest thing you've seen? There's probably loads, isn't there?
You got me on the spot.
Well, you're thinking about that, Dave. There's a funny thing that happened today, though, wasn't it? Really. When we was there. I mean, it's not crazy, but we was at the tool station, and there was the group of you, like the community lot of you, weren't there, in your big wagon that says police all over it, and gazebo. Then another wagon that said police, a gazebo with Met Police and everything. Uber driver pulls up.
Reverses.
Realised that he was also blind and shouldn't be driving, probably. And one of your colleagues went, "Excuse me, mate, your bumper's hanging off there." Done a few other checks on him, no MOT, ball tyres.
I think one of the builders did a quick check as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Steve did. Yeah,
Steve. Just grasped
Steve up. Steve grasped him up, I think.
He's got nothing there, he's illegal, he's got these, that's
sure
death
enough.
Trap, and now he's been, has he got to go and get an MOT now?
He's getting it done as we speak.
He's getting an MOT as we speak, so, not just there to help out the people trying to fight crime against tool thieves, but also keeping the roads safer too with dodgy Uber cars.
On MOTs, like it's so easy to miss it. Like,
How many have you missed?
I was going to check his heart.
I'm actually not sure now.
What are you doing? First you ask him what he does in the police. Then you're basically telling him that you don't check. Yeah. He checks MOTs as well, mate. You know what I mean? He checks MOTs.
We're going to get arrested in a minute.
I can't drive now, can I? Have you seen a state of my motor out there? No, it's past the MOT.
No, but now, like, in
Brakes
the
are done,
past...
Dave. I got them done last week. They start me. I better get that sorted before Dave comes on.
No, but in the past, now I put it in my calendar. But in the past, you just, unless you get a reminder, it's so easy for it to just let it go.
Yeah, I must admit it's happened to me in the past as well.
I don't think he's even known anything about a reminder, to be honest. But I think he's more concerned about the front of the bumper that was on cable ties.
He wanted to get some CT1 to glue it back on, didn't he?
I think that's what he was going to get, some sealant.
Trying to rectify it, officer. Look, you know what I mean?
But he's got a ticket now, and he's getting an MOT. So a little bit of engagement and enforcement on the same day, which is
double
good.
whammy.
So what other what did you ever think about any crazy
I didn't.
stories?
No, you diverted me.
You can't do two things at once, can you, mate? You know what I mean? But my mother-in-law was actually in the police force. She always used to go about being on team. My brother-in-law was as well. She worked in the P-file unit for 8 years. Then we had like kids, and it was like, can't do that no more. And I spoke to your social, to your media guy.
Yeah.
Because that's where my mother-in-law ended up finishing off, because she was originally a journalist before she was a cop.
Oh, right. So
then she went into the media side of it down in Plaster, I think she was. That's where she finished her career. So, I've had a lot of... What, is this someone else without an MOT? Let's get out of here! Come back here!
Let's move the car.
So I've had a lot of dealings with the police on the right side of the law.
Just add that little bit.
Let's stop
The
digging
in-laws.
a hole.
What?
Let's stop digging a hole.
Yeah. Just,
But yeah, anyway, so you started off in the trades, now you're
and
sort of moving into the tool theft. Yeah, was you aware of that before getting into this? Or
if I'm honest, I mean, we dealt with it if it cropped up. It doesn't. I don't remember it cropping up as often as it does now. But it wasn't something that was that I was focused on and looking at. If we go back 5, 6, 7 years ago. But I think it was the neighbourhood policing when I went back to neighbourhood policing, and we started seeing the overnight reports coming in more and more. But my role really is kind of the motor vehicle crime spot for the area that I'm in. So, an offshoot of that is theft from motor vehicles. Of course, it was tools that was cropping up all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it always used to be about car radios being jacked in it from cars and that in the old days, and they used to happen all the time, didn't it? But I think with the social media revolution over the past 5 years, you're probably more aware of it anyway, because people will always go on their phones and go, look what's happened. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then more and more people will report it and stuff. Yeah. And then that's probably why you've got more reports of it now than you ever did, than people were more aware of it. Which comes over to the next question is, how did you meet him? How did that come about? Do you know what I mean?
I was walking through the cells one morning, and I looked in cell 1. No, I'm
I actually thought you were serious.
There he was with his little gas expert can. Clink, clink, clink. Clink, clink.
No, he blanked me initially.
Did he?
I saw all the work. You know, with the algorithms, you start looking at stuff on social media, and certain things crop up.
Yeah.
Not that I was searching him up, but he started cropping up on the algorithms and around the tool theft stuff. So I just reached out to him one day and sort of said, I'm doing some work. We were at that time we were doing tool marking events. We'd done 2 or 3 local events around Bexley, Sidcup, Crayford. Reached out to Shoaib and said, look, would you be interested in coming along, having a look at this? And he basically told me to do one.
In a roundabout way.
In a roundabout way. He wasn't particularly interested and couldn't see it. So I said, look, come down to an event and I'll convince you. You could probably take the story over from there.
Yeah, because the thing was, after seeing so much stuff at the car boot sales, and I've been to loads, and
sorry, I just moved it there. So.
I said, after being to all these car boot sales, I saw so many tools, and it just used to make me really angry. Hearing about people's vans getting broken into and all this kind of stuff. And at that time, I did a petition as well. I think I met you after I did the first rally as well. The first rally that was in June.
I think it was after.
June. Yeah, it was after that.
Just after.
Just after that. And and I thought to myself, right, what's the point of marking tools? Because he was trying to explain something about tool marking to me, and I was like, what's the point of marking tools? Because, you know, I need the tools the next day, so I need to replace them. I'm going to go and buy them anyway. So I've lost out. My van's broken, and marking the tools, I don't know, because the whole perception about the police not doing anything, and I thought, do you know what? Probably 6 months later, I said to Dave, you're going to phone me and say, I found your tools, but it's too late for me. I've already bought tools and probably got broken into another couple of times at that time as well by the time you guys are going to get to it. So for me, tool marking doesn't work. And I sort of, that's where I left it. And I didn't speak to Dave. And then at some point, because I was doing all these things around the car boot sale, so we've got 15 car boot sales started putting up signs saying no power tool sold at this, no power tool sold at this. And one guy contacted me and he said, right, there's these car boot sales. I want to get these banners done, like these A boards and stuff like that. And I've got some done. Can you meet me somewhere? And I want to show you these boards. And it was quite a thing to me. Like, why would you make these boards out of your own pocket? Right? I don't even know you, and you're trying to give it to me. So I thought somebody was trying to stitch me up to meet him somewhere.
Right.
So when he got in contact with me, he didn't say he was a police officer. He just said Dave something on it, like some numbers on his thing. And I was like, probably it's the same kind of thing where he's trying to call me down to one event. So I literally didn't want to speak to him. So I think I left him for a good few weeks, a couple of weeks at least. I didn't get back to him. And then,
I phoned
then
you
he
back
contacted me again, and then he actually phoned me.
Yeah.
That's when we had the conversation, and I decided to go and see. I had no idea what SelectaDNA was. I had no idea about these tool marking events. So I turned up to the Screwfix, I believe. Do you know what I did? I parked in the car park opposite Screwfix just to see if it actually is an event before I even pulled up in their car park.
Oh, was you sort of worried that something was getting stitched up?
Yeah. So I pulled up in the other car park and I watched them. Then when I saw the police gazebo thing and the banners, that's when I drove into him and I went and saw him.
I didn't know you sat watching for a little while. Right.
Not that silly, you know.
He was doing it outside your house and all.
He'd researched me.
I did a proper check on you.
But don't be offended that he didn't get back to you straight away, because when I first started on Instagram, I had 900 followers. You send him DMs all the time. He was like, nah, mate, blank him. Don't want to talk to him. Do you know what I mean? Who is this?
I think if you
no, he weren't really.
How would you do it?
But it is when people. Yeah, I would think the same thing. Do you know what I mean? When you get like messages from people on Instagram who you don't know, you do proceed with caution now, because you've got no idea who's watching you, especially if you've got a big like platform like Shoaib. Do you know what I mean? And people send links, etc., etc. You got to be a bit security conscious. So it is hard to get through to people. Do you know what I mean? Some people don't even accept messages whatsoever, do they? So it is but good that in the end you met up, obviously, and then
I think it's safe to say you were convinced, weren't you?
Yeah, the first time I saw it, and when Dave spoke to me and he said, look, the most important part of marking your tools is that we recover quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we can't return it to people. And that's when it sort of hit me, the bigger picture. Because obviously the whole thing I was exposing around the car boot sales and online and pawn shops selling them, it sort of hit me in a way, because I thought to myself, people write names on them, initials on them, and that is not going to be good enough proof for them, because proving stolen goods or handling stolen goods is probably one of the hardest things to do. Because if they said to you, I found it, what are they going to do? Nothing.
It's great on site.
A name on it is all right for site.
Yeah, but identify
when
them.
we was at work on the tools, when we had we used to work in like gangs of us. In like doing flat bashing, that we'd all have our tools. We all got identical tools, you know, cutters, this, that, and the other. And my mate would go, like, where are my cutters? Where are my cutters? And I go, they're my cutters. And then your mate would go, no, they're mine. I put 3 little scratches in it like that. It's like, Well, don't prove nothing, does it? You've just picked them up and you've literally just done it. Do you know what I mean? So you're right. Like putting names on it or anything like that is useless. Any like markings, that's only identifiable to you, but it don't mean nothing. But this stuff is really like it's next gen, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? On the scale of like the DNA and the actual identifying.
Yeah, and the
tools.
big thing for me was when obviously this whole thing was starting off when me and Dave, he said, come and have a look at one of the compounds and see what's going on. So we got permission, and Dave got permission for that. I visited it there, and the amount of tools we saw, it was incredible. Pallets, bags full of tools that people just nick the whole bag. You'll see like a tool bag full of drills, tools, and then you see like 6 or 7 officers sitting on the floor with UV lights. And I said to them, what are they doing? And look, the first thing they look for is any sort of marking, like the way that the police want you to mark your tools, not by writing your names. And we saw how many names on there. We still got. I put a video up on Instagram. I think it got like I don't know how many views it got, but again, it had Tom on it. It had DMC on it, LT on it, and he said to me, "Shoaib, what are we supposed to? Yeah, Polish Dave. What are we supposed to do with these?" And he said, "You tell me. What would you do with him if I put in front of you?" And I just that is when it hit me, and I said, "Do you know what? That is why it's so important to mark your tools." And since then, we've been literally going on about.
And it's not. It's just that. It's also the hours and hours of searching through, checking if they've been registered, UV lighting them all to then get 0. You know, if you got 1, you think at least someone's got their tools back.
And my question always was, why is the police not doing enough about boot sales? Look, all the pictures up on the internet, people have done that. They're like, you're wasting our time. We go down there, can't prove nothing, we've got to give it back to them. And then people don't see the bigger picture unless you're involved and you know so much about this, and then you think, well, I'm trying to tell you to get these kits. And do you know what the hardest part is? These kits aren't cheap, right? It works at £1 a tool, but some tradespeople want to look at it, I'm not spending £50, but to work so hard with so many companies for them to fund it, so it costs you nothing to do, and you still don't do it, then you are the ones to be blamed. Don't pick your fingers at the police, they're not doing it. What have you been doing? All we want to do is get 20% of the trades to market. Don't have to be 100%. If that 20% market, you've seen how many tools you see on the floor every time you go to a car boot, so they're cropping up everywhere. Thousands of tools you see. And if you go and put a marker on them, you won't probably won't even find one tool because there's not enough people doing it.
But it's not only that. The thing about the kits what I like about the kit is they've actually you've got the van stickers obviously that come with them as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's the biggest deterrent.
And you've also got a sticker that is visible on the tool that it's impenetrable, isn't it? You can't get it off very easily.
No, it's really hard to get off. Yeah. And you imagine if they've just done a van and they've got all those tools in their car, they're not going to sit there on the back seat trying to get every single sticker off. Yeah. There's going to be a point where
there is a visible point of like, you know, these are.
And that also reminds the officers when they're seizing them, this one's marked.
Yeah.
It speeds it up for us. Oh, we'll put a UV light on this one. It's got a sticker on it. You know,
or something's been scratched off it.
Yeah.
You know, it gives them.
But that DNA testing has got a code in it, and what it does, it gives that code to that specific tool. You register that code, don't you, with SelectaDNA?
Yeah. So within the fluid, there's thousands and thousands of little microdots, and on each microdot, it's got that unique number that links back to that kit, to that registered person. And when you paste it on, and the good thing is with these is that even if you manage to put some fluid on there that hasn't got one of those microdots, you've missed one off of that thing, they can still get that DNA profile from the fluid itself. Right. So it's actually embedded within, the fluid as well. So we'd have to send that off to the lab to get that done. But we can get it done, even if you just got the fluid.
It will show up, so you'd be able to do that, yeah.
But with the dots, we can look at those at the point of arrest. If we've got someone in custody, we can take one of those dots, put it onto a piece of white paper, get a microscope on it, and we can get victim there and then, which means we don't have to bail that suspect out. We can almost go for a charge there and then because we've got that victim statement.
So a question I might ask then, that I asked you earlier, is what can be done with the tools that cannot be recovered? So they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere. So what happens then? What can be done with them? Is there anything positive that come out of them just sitting there in a warehouse?
That's a hard one. At the moment, they tend to go to auction. At the moment, I'm looking at trying to set up a sort of tool bank scheme, whether that be through using those tools that we've seized and getting them back into circulation as almost like on a loan basis through a tool bank, or certainly there's funds that are generated from those auctions, and we're also looking at the option of basically accessing those funds to purchase new tools, to then have a tool bank set up where we can actually issue sort of free tools on loan out. For
when people do, if unfortunately have that happen to them, then that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Just get people back on their feet so they can carry on working the next day. Or... Literally
within 2 days, a new set of tools comes down, you use them for however long it takes for your insurance to be sorted out, or however many paychecks you need to replace them, then you return them, and then the next person gets the opportunity. And obviously the more money we can get and the more tools we get for that, the more people we can help. I'd imagine it'll sort of start off London and then...
I think we should say this as well. It's like whenever you purchase a tool as well, like keep your receipt in it. I mean, that might sound a silly thing to say now, but so many people don't, or they put them away, they can't find them, do you know what I mean? Like keep hold of them and leave them in a place that is easily accessible to you if ever that unfortunate, because a lot of insurance companies won't pay out, will they?
It makes it a lot quicker for the payout. If you've got a photograph and you've registered them, a lot of there's companies out there, I didn't realise until I started looking into it, that if you register your tool with them and your tool gets stolen, that company will replace it. And you'll have, like, say, a 3-year warranty on it. Your tools get stolen after year 1. When they replace those new tools, you've still got 2 years left of warranty on it. The warranty continues. So you're mad if you don't. It's free. You
register the products. Make sure you keep receipts. Register the products.
And that helps us as well. If we know it's a DeWalt and they've registered with DeWalt, we can go down that route. Because at the moment, there's a lot of companies that are doing these registrations that you can record on their database. And a police officer at 2:00 in the morning isn't going to sit down and search 18 different databases in case he's registered it on that one or that one or that one or that one. The first port of call with the tools generally at the moment, we would always sort of check Selecta's database. But if it's Makita, we'd go on to Makita and check that.
Do you want to ask a question?
I'm just going to say, has there been any feedback from like tool manufacturers, like what they could do? I don't know, give the option to buy a kit with your tools, and has there been any feedback?
Some have contacted us, haven't they, around putting kits in.
That would be a good idea.
And I'd ask anyone out there that would be interested in doing that to jump on board, because the more we can get out there, the better.
So with your tool companies, get in touch with SelectaDNA and get them it's because people won't. Not everyone will, like you say. Some people are like, or some people might be like, I ain't got 50 quid or whatever. Do you know what I mean? 50 quid to some people, and they might go, I'll just risk it because it's easy to. But if you're buying out and you're starting out and it comes with it, there are no excuses then, is there, for you to jump on. Obviously, it's going to still be on the price, but if you're buying tools at the same time, then it won't be so like, I've got to go out and get that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to change in a way. It's almost changing the culture. If you buy new tools or anything of value, property marking kits, any computers, if you buy something nice new that's expensive, mark it.
We're just going to mark the cameras.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not? The guy that was filming today, it came down. He took a kit and did all his kit with it. So.
Yeah, we should do. Why haven't we? I thought you would have done.
Robbie, you done it yet?
Robbie, what have you been doing, mate? You just sat there.
Because they're going to create a video to do it. Like, they're going to create a video marking the camera.
That's why. Good idea, that, Robbie. Was that your idea, Robbie?
No.
Right. Bad idea, Robbie.
It's Abigail.
I should go to the van and get the microscope out as well. If you want to have a look at it, you can zoom into it.
Is that what you need then these days, Shoaib? Is it a microscope? Is it?
Unfortunately.
Sorry.
It's cold today.
But no, it's a good event, isn't it? It's a good little event. They are good little events, isn't they? And it makes
I've done quite a few now, so yeah.
It's creating a lot more awareness.
But what it is the bigger companies that are coming on board now, like Wickes.
Yeah.
They've done 2 events. They want to do more. And then hopefully we've got, I think, Toolstation coming on board, CT1's on board. With just so many different companies that are now just wanting on the tools. Fixed Radio, they're doing a Fix Fest. Where else are we doing it next? I think there's another one.
You've had one...
ITS,
Cricklewood.
That's another big one.
Didn't you recently?
ITS are huge online.
ITV was down today as well, weren't they?
ITV were down. I think BBC are coming to the next one or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so all the media channels, they're all on board, and they want to keep on doing stuff. So I got a message from Sky News as well, because I've already been in the studio, and it's like, let's do a follow up on it.
Yeah.
So let's see what progress you're getting and get the new story in.
Yeah.
So it's just good that it's in mainstream now. So everyone's sort of talking about it online. You see so much around it when you never used to hear about it before.
But what we would like to see as well as tradespeople as well, I don't know if you can comment on this, Dave, but like obviously, and this will be where the Parliament come in and stuff like that. What sort of like what are we looking for, as in like punishments for these people? Were we able to say what people will be looking at, like as another deterrent to say like, well, if you get caught, this is what you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? Is that coming? Is that?
I think that's the bill that Amanda Martin, MP for Portsmouth North, isn't she? That's what she's working on at the moment and trying to bring in. So basically, the way the sentencing is set up, the average value of tools that are stolen falls within or under £5,000.
Yeah.
So the sentencing can only go to a certain level, and most of the time it's sort of community service. Very, very rare you get a custodial sentence. So what they're trying to say is, look, that might fall under £5,000 because they've had £4,500 worth of tools, but what you're not taking into consideration is the cost of the repair to the van, and the cost of lost work because of that. And actually, generally, that then pushes it up towards a £10,000 and over mark quite often. Therefore, it jumps from that category to this category, and there's a higher sentencing scheme on that section then. So you can
I'd like to see something added to that, like this causes somebody's mental health to deteriorate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and they do look at that aspect as well on it. What's the risk that's happened as well. So
if I was to put a bill through, mine won't be completely different to that one. I'll be breaking into a tradesperson's van or any sort of forced entry, which should be a punishable offence. Simple as that. It eliminates all this £100 theft or harm. It doesn't matter. Even if you nick a screwdriver off me, you damage the van. My insurance has gone up for the next 5 years because I've made a claim. Do you understand? Just to repair the door.
Yeah.
And then just the anxiety and the frustration of you being at work, worrying about what's going on outside. Honestly, the other day I put a message up. I don't know if you saw my story. I refused a job. The guy had a job for me. I would have earned some money out of it as well. And it was like, I said, where's your parking? He goes, you got to park on the other road. I literally messaged him, sorry, you got to find someone else. If I can't see my van, I'm not doing the job. I sent that message to him and I put it up on the story on Instagram. I get so many messages and I refuse the job. I'm not doing it. If I can't see my van, I'll rather not do that job. Or if it's a regular customer, I'll get a £60 ticket. They'll pay my ticket.
Yeah.
I've got a picture. I've actually got the ticket in my van. Go and have a look. £100 ticket. I said to the customer, £60 going to early payment, but I'm going to add it to your bill because I couldn't find parking, and he's willing to pay it because he wants me to do the job. But it shouldn't be like that.
No, it's sad, isn't it?
Like
and some people haven't got the luxury of turning down work.
Yeah.
And they're
exactly. So
they're
taking
chasing
risks.
that
I
work.
I'll be
They'll take
honest.
that risk.
I'd prefer not to see my van on the job because it's quite embarrassing, the colour of it. It's like I don't want a constant reminder of that. But I've got to get it.
At least they can
I
see
think
you
we're just going
coming.
to wrap your one up as a funeral director.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So what? Yeah,
Or flowers.
Mother's
Day flowers.
Private ambulance.
It's the right colour for
florist.
flowers, isn't
Yeah.
it? You could put. Yeah,
Wonder if
it's
any
got
of
the
them's
right
ever been
backdrop.
robbed. Do you reckon any of them's been robbed? A private ambulance. Yeah.
No, it's
Body
it's,
snatchers.
But look, it's not just the tools. They're breaking into bloody everything now. So it's DPD vans. What's the other one? Amazon. How many vans they broke into that? I went to TVL's place. It's not far from here. Go and have a look how many TVL vans turn up every day. They just literally cut the doors open and take all the parcels. What happened around Christmas and the new iPhones came out? Pretty much every single DPD van got done.
Yeah.
You see, and the thieves are so well aware of this stuff because they know nothing's going to happen. But they would never touch a Royal Mail van because that would be stealing from the Royal. So that would be treason. So I've never ever heard a Royal Mail van getting broken into or touched. So the whole system is so messed up and they're so clued on to this. But the good thing is they know about this stuff at SelectaDNA. This is why it's so important to put the stickers out on your vans so that straight away they think, you know what, it's forensic stuff, rather not touch it. And if we do take stuff, we won't be able to sell it. So if that message goes out to everyone, that is a That is the most important thing that you need to do.
And there is stuff going on in the background as well. I think we've always said, haven't we? There's 3 or 4 elements to this. You've got the registration and marking of tools. You've got the boot sales, which obviously we're looking at, and it's certainly stepped up the agenda within the police. And I'm certainly hearing a lot more noise around boot sales now and looking at those. You've then got the security of the vans, and there's a lot of changes that are happening there within the new vehicle security assessment, NVSA. Thatcham actually sort of govern that, and that links in with insurance companies. So up to now, we've always had that issue where the system's been set up to stop the van from being stolen, not necessarily the goods within the van from being stolen, because ultimately that insurance covers that van from being taken away. Yeah. The goods that are in the back are often on a different insurance and not covered. So as of February this year, the criteria has changed within that assessment framework. So it's based on like a scale of 1 to 100. And if your van is high up, 90s, 95, 100, then it's got to be cheaper to insure because it's secure, it meets all the requirements, it's a safe bet. The lower down that framework that goes, then obviously your van becomes less desirable to insure, becomes more expensive on insurance. People then don't want to buy that type of van. So you're almost forcing the manufacturers into doing something about it. Yeah. And that's what Thatcham have done recently. In February, they've brought in some new legislation around that, or some new sort of protocols around that. So they have to have more secure locking on the rear compartment of the van, double locking, just like you would have on the cab of the van. And also the alarm system should be working in the back and front. So I know some of the new vans now have actually got like the mesh through, so the sensor in the front of the van will go through and pick up in the back. So if someone breaks into the back, it will still set that alarm off. So work is being done around that, and I think there's a sort of 2 years until they have to comply with that. So any new vehicle coming out in 2 February's time will have to have those extra locking facilities on that rear door and that alarm system within the back as standard when built. So there is work being done around that, and also keyless technology, and there's some new legislation and some stuff changing around that as well, which will come into play soon, which will be really useful.
But ultimately, the price of the van is going to be ridiculous. We all know that, because it is going to put the price up. Again, Ford, I will say this to them as well, because they say the van manufacturers need to be better vans, this, that, the other. I get that side of things, but Ford make vans for over 100 countries, right? They've got to change the whole plant, the whole thing around, just making a special van for UK customers because we've got a problem. Why not deal with the problem rather than changing the whole van around? That's the way I know how they think. That's a perception I get from them, because I've been to the Ford events as well. And they're sort of thinking, we've got to change everything around because
I think it's a multi-layered approach. If everyone does their bit, and the police step up enforcement, the van companies change this, people mark their tools, it all helps.
Yeah, Dave, but when the ULEZ came around, I had a perfectly working van. I had nothing wrong with my van. It was exactly the same van as the one you see parked outside. It only was in white. This is in grey. My one was low mileage. I said I got it at a good price. There was nothing wrong with it. I had, and because of the ULEZ thing came up, so they made us sort of scrap the vans because we'll give you $7,000 for it and just get it scrapped, get a new van. So I spent £28,000 now on my new van. Get everything done, got the slam locks on it, and then bloody cut the door out. So again, I'm out of pocket. So it's frustrating to see that every time it's a cost. Get alarm done, get hook locks done, get this done, get the vault done, and they still have a go. And now I'm going to have a look at my side door. It's got a screwdriver mark on it because they've literally bent the door again. And you couldn't claim on insurance. Honestly, I don't want to claim on insurance because I know it's going to go up.
Yeah, no. So I paid, recently, was it?
So I paid £600 to get that door straightened up because where the lock is, on the side door, they put a screwdriver just to see if it's locked or not. They must have got disturbed. But when they put the screwdriver, they tried to open, see if it's locked. And that they tried to do on a brand new van, literally made the side of the door go like P-shaped. Then I'd take it to the mechanic, you have to hammer it all in, touch it up a little bit. But it's horrible on me because I'm thinking, you spend money on such a nice van. You've laid out money for this van, do you know what I mean? And it's supposed to be your workhorse. This is your offices they're breaking into. It's not something else. That's what really makes me angry.
Do we think, like, talking about the security in the vans and that, and it's been touched on before, like if we make the van impregnable, Is that the right word? Impregnable. I can't spit my words out.
Predictable. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we fear that the thieves will come to the house and try and get the keys that way, or do you know what I mean? Is that a fear factor?
It's always a concern, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what I would say is if they want to avoid that, because they know full well if you start using violence, if you start committing burglaries, their sentences if they get caught. And also they've got more chance of getting caught. Obviously it steps up the priority. You know, if people are using violence and breaking into houses, then clearly we can only deal with so much, so we have to prioritise stuff. You know, and when you've got knife crime, violence against women, you know, if people are breaking into houses and using violence, we've got to prioritise, and that is always going to come above the theft from a motor vehicle. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. So they want to avoid that because they don't want our specialist teams looking into it and the funding looking into it.
Well, I think what we want to avoid as well is the fact, and I brought this up with Frank the other day at one of the other tool rallies in tool marking events in St Albans, was the fact that we don't want to see a tradesman go outside and take the law into his own hands and then actually being convicted of something that he does in the heat of the moment. Or the worst case scenario, that he actually gets injured by a said person, do you know what I mean? When it becomes a violent offence then, because we don't really want to see that happening either, do we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is really awkward. We will always say, look, don't get involved, step back. You know, if you can film it, great, you know, safely, then do. 999, call us immediately. And then on the other hand, you've got the lads recently in Sidcup that jumped in and helped Paul out, the carpenter, with his van. And, you know, we're going to give them a pat on the back and say, well done, you know. So, but everyone's got their different threshold, haven't they? And it is really awkward, as you say. There's that fine line between defending your property and then that one extra punch that could land you in trouble. You know, when you know the subject's subdued and the extra punch goes in. So we always say, look, just call police.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, you'll get them people. You'll see these things happening online, and you'll get the comments online. Oh, go out there swinging. I'd be this. I'd be that. They won't get my tools. All this like macho bravado stuff. But reality check. If there is 2-3 geezers out there, then and you catch them,
you don't know what they're carrying.
You don't know what they've got. They've got sharp objects to get your door open.
Yeah.
So them sharp objects can penetrate you. So my advice would be probably do not go out there and confront them, because it could end badly.
And it's different.
But either way, depending if you are like a mixed martial artist or whatever, you could get in trouble for doing like damage to people who are taking your belongings. Do you know what I mean? That's where we are, aren't we? Let's be honest.
And also, they obviously know where you live if it's on your drive.
Yeah.
If it's on the street and it's away from your house, you know, you might want to think differently. But it's easy for me to say. I must admit, if I was in that position, you know, who knows?
I know you'd be wound up to like whatever. So
yeah.
everybody's, like you say, thresholds are different in everybody and whatever. But like, you got to think. You got to think, especially if you've got families, etc. Like that. It's a hot topic, and it's very, I think, important to. What's the word I'm going to say? I can't think. It's important to approach it delicately, innit, I suppose. Like, not all.
You've got to think yourself first, your family, you know. And I know, yes, it is affecting your family if they're getting your tools, but at the end of the day, they want mum there or dad there. You know, 100%.
Did you say the charges earlier would be based on the value of what they take?
Yeah, this is what the legislation changes are looking at as a whole. So the cost of the van, the cost of the goods, the cost of the work that's been lost.
They're just saying at the moment it's been on just the value of the tools that went, but now they're saying no, we got around the damage to the van,
it all added together.
Time of work,
because obviously 5,000 is quite a lot. Those tools cost,
and then replacement, because you're losing that amount of money.
So I don't even think it should be on value. They've got in your VAT. It's the same.
This is what Shoaib's saying.
It's the same offence. They broke into.
It's a trades van. Bang.
But I've never understood that though. Is it like? I've never understood why somebody who don't get done for attempted murder, like, do you know what I mean? Somebody gets more years for murder than someone does attempted murder. What, just because they failed at it, they get less time? That's because you're crap at murdering people, so you get less time. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you get another chance.
You've stabbed somebody, didn't you? You intended to try and kill them, but you'll get less sentence for attempted than you do actual murder. That doesn't have made sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not always the way, but I hear what you're saying.
I'll make sort of a little bit of a point now. I don't know the law inside out.
But yeah, so obviously the police get hard time regarding tool theft. Like, we call them up, they don't do anything. What is the process of someone calling you up? And
so, for obviously the initial offence happens. Do you know what the first thing is? Phone up and report it. There's a lot of people that don't report it for a start, and that makes our life difficult in the sense that we can't see patterns happening. If we know there's a certain car park that's been hit, 5-6 times in the last couple of weeks, then we want to know about that, because we could do stuff around it without giving too much away. There's stuff that we can be doing there.
Yeah.
But if we're not getting told that information and people aren't reporting, then it's like
people report it the first time around, and then second time they might report it, but third, fourth, fifth time, because nothing happened the first 2 times, they think, what's the point? It's going to waste my time, just call the insurance or just get another tools. I've seen people driving around, they don't fix the doors anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to buy rubbish tools.
No, that's just my van.
Yeah, that's an example.
My van just looks like a pile of shit.
There was a job last year in Kent, and that was someone from social media making contact with myself around a guy, I don't think he'd reported it actually, I might be wrong, whose drill got stolen, was tracked to a certain place in Kent. We shared information around that, they did some work on it, and they then did a raid and they recovered virtually £1 million worth of power tools, 2 container
I think
loads.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
And that was, I might be wrong, but from memory, I was told at the time he hadn't reported it, but you should know about this. And that's when we did some work on it.
Yeah.
And I think it was then reported. And as a result of that, all those power tools were recovered, and a few extra bits as well, and a few arrests, I think 7 arrests. So it was a really good result. And that guy had a tracker on his drill.
So he probably got his drill back, but the rest of them didn't mark nothing. So.
Well, this was the thing. I think they recovered 12 or 15 items out of all the thousands of power tools they recovered. And I wouldn't be surprised if most of those ones they recovered were hire company stickers,
And it was a couple of days ago I shared another post with the Norfolk Police when they caught a guy, I think he had £10,000 worth of tools on him. They seized all the tools, but they're looking for the owners, and no one's marked anything.
So get your tools marked.
Yeah, I think
is the object, is it mark your tools up with this stuff?
We've seen so many
posts. There's a good
posts.
chance of you getting them recovered.
Yeah, we've seen so many posts where they're trying to find the owners. Look on Facebook, it's full of it. Police saying if the owners can come forward. That's it. But again, no one registers at all. No one marks the tools. And then they say...
And I guess it's the same for us. If you're saying, people say, it's happened 2, 3, 4 times, what's the point in reporting it again? How many times is that officer going to sit there for hours, scan? No, nothing.
Oh, I've seen it firsthand, and I went there and I saw everything, and I know what goes on there now, because again, no marking, just names on them. Chances of you even knowing that your tools are there sitting there, you're probably watching this now and thinking, do you know what, my tools got stolen like this a year ago. Your tools could be sitting in that compound right now.
Yeah.
As far as you know, you'll never hear that they've got it.
You can't get them, even if you identified it and said that's my name on that. You still wouldn't be able to get it.
No.
I think that tool bank could be really positive.
Yeah,
obviously
I think
that's a big process to set up.
Yeah.
If it's to be done right, that's a big.
There's been a lot of emails and a lot of phone calls
That's
already,
a big thing to set up.
we've only just sort of started on it really. So.
But I think that will push people to call up by having that, because they know they can get something to use until they get their tools back, and I think that'd really help.
And I think there is one company that started it on a smaller scale up north, I think. So the more those that set up, the better. But if we can get a national one set up that links into the police forces and certain charities, then it'll be fantastic. Just that bit of backup.
So what's the future for you though, Dave? Now let's get over. What's the future for you now, Dave? What's the future for you, Shoaib? Like, where are we going after this in the next few years? What are your plans? Any plans?
Next few years, retiring.
Well, I suppose you can't go undercover now, can you?
No, exactly.
We plastered his face all over the place.
I think I'm taking over your job then. I've still got a few years left in me.
You don't look young. You don't look old enough. to retire, does he, old Dave? Do you know what I mean?
Not far off.
He looks younger than Shoaib.
Yeah, probably does. It's not on the tools yet. That's
Yeah,
why.
he ain't had his tools nicked, does he?
But my days are 72 hours long, so that's why I look older.
That's a long old day, Shoaib.
Yeah.
And 8 days a week.
That's a lot of time, that is, isn't it, Shoaib?
So I feel old.
He's still,
I've aged like 4 years in these last two.
Stressed.
Always.
well, you've been doing a lot, ain't you? You've been packing a lot into like
It is.
life,
This is the
ain't you?
thing, if I'm not
flying
there-
around everywhere,
Literally.
becoming a pilot.
No, that's not. That's just sometimes.
I reckon what
Every
you're gonna
thought.
do, I reckon what he's going to do. He wants to work for the police in a helicopter because he's probably going to get his helicopter license next, and then
That'll be good. I know.
he'll
We'll just go.
be tracking like
race
fly
it.
over the
on
boot
the
cells.
old, yeah. He'll be
Fly
going
around them. Do you
He's
see
going-
anything?
Yeah, he's got his heat-proof source camera on the go, chasing people. What are you going to do, Shoaib? You staying in the industry? What are you doing? What is your plan?
I'm on the tools still. People think I don't work. I'm on 6 days a week. I work. I only get 1 day off. I spend it with my kids. About 6 days, I am on the tools, and all this extra stuff that I do in my own time. So I don't really get time for myself to do anything. You know, I used to go to the gym. I used to do so many different things. Now, since the past year and a half, I've not stopped. Even now, after this job, I've got another gas certificate to do and one service. So I'll be home late.
Hurry up then.
Yeah, I know.
It's all them
I
it's
swear
all
to
them-
God, it's extra.
It's all them extra 48 hours in the day that you got, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. That's how it feels like. Honestly, there's so many things in one day that's just non-stop. I mean, this tool marking thing as well. Again, it's one of those things. I've got to be there because
We've made our
if
bed
I-
now. We've got to lay in it, haven't we?
it is. You can't. Do you know what I mean? You talk about it online, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you spoke about it," and never fucking turns up. It's difficult. And you've seen the events that we've done. We spoke a lot about it, and people turn up. We did 146 in Birmingham. I'm not even from Birmingham because people kept saying, "Why you come up north? Why do you come up north?"
Yeah.
That went really well. 146 kits. Times that by 50 if you put it by tools. A lot of numbers that we did on just that one event.
Yeah.
And then the other one we did, I think, 86 different locations. Every location is different. I don't know how many we did today.
It's close to 100, wasn't it?
But we were on the
today?
FEC show. We were giving that there. I think we did about 80 or 90 kits on the FECs.
That was busy. That was last year, wasn't it? Yeah,
That's the
was a busy-
first time you've done it. And now we've got the installer show coming up. And that's the turnout on installer shows over 50,000. We've got 3 floors now. So you imagine the people when they see this product there, how it's going to go. Do you know what I mean? So
And I think my team have done 15, 20 events now, something like that. It's in double figures.
I've done about 7 or 8.
They're all adding up.
Putting it out there. You're spreading your DNA about everywhere, Shoaib, aren't you?
Well, we've got another 2. They've got another 2 events. Now, I've got one that I'm planning with, and that is going to be with ITS on the 29th of April.
Yeah.
It's Harlow, different area again. We've never done one in Harlow. There's a lot of trades there that I know as well.
That's a big place.
Funny, I remember speaking to ITS and they were saying how few, I can't remember the exact stats, but how few people register their tools for that extra warranty. So if they're not going to register them for an extra year's warranty on them, you can imagine the difficulty we've got to convince people to register them just in case they get stolen. So
definitely.
it's
just get drumming that in, innit? It's like starting a new culture up, like you say. Like, it's like getting that right. And
It's to make people understand, especially the government officials, that when tool theft happens and we complain about tool theft, it's not a screwdriver or a drill that we've just lost. It's a whole livelihood. And when you're in a specialist trade, like if, for example, you're a gas engineer, I'll talk about myself. So the analyzer cost over 1,500 quid now. Do you understand, with the printer? Your power flush machine's about $2,000, and you've got thermal imaging cameras. You carry all this stuff with you because you need to do it for the job, and you lose that. You've lost a lot of money, and that's literally for them a second to grab a bag and go. And that bag could cost you. When I lost my analyzer, I bought an Anton one, and I lost it. And I had to go to work. I can't do my job without that analyzer. I can't do gas certificate. I can't do a service. I need that bloody thing. And I'm thinking to myself now. And then I phoned up Kane. And I bought an analyzer the next day. I spent £1,000 on a Kane one, just to get back to work. I don't forget the rest of the tools. I'll recover. I'll do something. I didn't have tool insurance. That was another my fault. But I never thought this would happen. And I've seen so many tradespeople recently got broken into, and they've come up and said, "We never thought this would happen to us." You know,
it's often what you hear, isn't it? It's like buying the safe after being
I think
burgled.
that culture's changing now, where people actually, I know people are, but it's not a good thing where people are actually walking out going, "Has it been done?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's people are more wary of it now, because it's so prolific and everybody knows about it. I mean, I certainly do. When I walk up to my van in the dark, I'm looking, I'm thinking, is that door open? Is it? No.
As you're walking out, as you're approaching. Yeah.
It's not even my van. What am I looking at? It's another green. So that's the van. People break into my van to nick fags and groceries.
They leave the tools behind.
Yeah, them tools are rubbish. We just want the fags. Refrigeration kit.
Yeah.
Have you had any negative messages or anything about all this?
No.
It has been pretty positive, to be fair. There'll be people out there listening going, I disagree with it. I think there's this flaw or that flaw.
Okay.
He's asked me all that over the years.
On my Instagram, you can go through all my posts for the whole year and a half that I've been doing, since the petition till to rallies and till now. You won't see a negative comment about anything around tool theft or what I've done. Whenever I put a police video up or show them doing something positive, the negatives start coming in. And that is because over time people have got this perception they don't do anything, they ain't going to come, all I'm going to get is crime reference. I totally get it, because I got a crime reference on myself twice. But then again, what are we doing to help them when they are asking you to mark your tools for how many years? This stuff is not new, it's been around for 35 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not new. And there's about 100 countries they cover.
Yeah, the actual concept of marking. Right. I don't know about the actual technology on this, how new it is, but yeah, certainly the concept around marking and Selecta have been around for
40 years, I think. I spoke to Claire. Yeah, 40 years. So when they are asking you to do the right stuff, so we can help them as well to get things done, because it's such a big task to deal with tools. There's every tradesperson got about 50 tools. Imagine all the tradespeople, how many tools that is then. The mess is too big. And to sort it out, make a start. We've going on about a year with how many thousands and thousands of tools. Yeah. It's going to help in the long run, because A, you're going to get recovery because you'll get your stuff back. Secondly, it helps them with all these places like pawn shops, boot sales, that are a reason for our vans getting broken into, in my opinion. And they will start facing charges and problems once everyone starts understanding that it's so important to put something that gives them this thing, because there's a conviction, isn't it? 100% conviction rate.
So straight away, it's they end up getting arrested for handling stolen goods. Next time someone comes and offers them a load of cheap tools that they clearly know are stolen, they're going to think twice about buying them, because they remember last time they ended up having them all seized off of them and and being nicked.
What about you then? Are you gonna run for Parliament ever?
No.
Are you sure? Is that gone through your head?
No, never. It actually doesn't. I enjoy what I do because I know I've got people moving in the right way, and it should be, because I'm quite strong in the head, mate. Yeah. If I believe in something, I wouldn't even listen to myself, because I know there's just.
You do.
How can you break into a van and think that's all right? Do you know what I mean? So everyone said to me, don't do it, it's a waste of time, they're not going to listen to you. I didn't listen to them. It's been a year and a half, and now we can see the changes.
Well, the thing is, you are headstrong, aren't you? Because you do all them bloody marathons, and you learn how to fly a plane and stuff in like 3 weeks, and then, you know what I mean? It's like mental, the stuff that he does. I think it's like, Shoaib's going to do something, he's like going to actually, like,
you've got to see something
he's going to succeed at it. So like a lot of people just go, oh no, stop that, I ain't not bothered. So like, and your persistence shows in this as well, because you've been doing it now. How long you been doing it? Year and a half. Yeah, year and a half.
Started last May. So last May.
It's
been a year and a half.
Yeah. So no, take me out off to you, mate. It's like incredible work.
But it's so good. I would have never thought. Do you remember I came to your podcast last time when I was sitting by myself talking, and now you're sitting with.
Now you're under arrest. With,
and things have moved in the right way.
You're sitting with.
We'll talk about that later.
Is this something we need to know? Is it?
No, his team is the coolest team, honestly. But we've got the Met Police, and we work with Essex Police, and all these different things that we got to the Ford event. There's so many things, different police forces that we work with. It's not just the Met, but as I said, Dave's team. Incredible. So much fun.
They need to get a lot of the credit for it, because they're the ones like today lugging it all around. And
come and do a tour of the police station. pretend he gets nicked, put him in a cell.
Just leave him there next week.
Wait, Kieran,
I'll just take his van anyway.
Kieran, you can imagine him going to a police station. What do you do in here? What do policemen do? I can't remember. Sling him in the slammer. No, I enjoyed that.
Thanks for
coming in, Dave.
No, you're welcome. Thank
Shoaib,
you.
Thanks as always for coming in and continue the hard work and the
welcome.
fight. And we hope to see more improvement and things happening in the next year. Hopefully, we'll see some major changes, and it'll be down to you guys. So
It is happening.
thanks very much.
It is happening, and also the MPs, how many MPs we've got on board, that's massive. That's big. Because they're the ones who make these decisions that push things forward. If it wasn't for the noise we made outside Parliament, you were there as well, I mean, these things wouldn't have moved.
Yeah.
Honestly. The second time we went out, and literally I spoke to 6 on the square.
Yeah, I spoke
6 of
to
them.
one as well.
Yeah, so Amanda was there, Margaret was there, who else was there? There was Matt Vickers was there. I think there was another 3, I don't even know the names. Robert Jenrick
Lincoln
came in after.
Lincoln something or other.
Yeah, and they said, we came out to see the noise, what this is all about. Because the first time we went out, there was no government. The second time we went out, they were all there, and there was a tank there as well, which made all the noise.
Yeah.
And there's a tank in the square. I mean,
Louis,
things like that
Louis
happen.
French, the local MP, turned up today, didn't
Yeah,
he?
and now they're all working, and even when we went to Parliament, they all literally came out in there and spoke to us.
I think what I'd like to say is as well, if you are listening to this and like you were saying about that you didn't get a lot of negative comments, but I've seen a lot of negative comments on things where people have posted and they say, oh, it'll never make a difference, blah, 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 blah. All I would say is, on that side of things, please, you're entitled to your opinion, yeah, but maybe just don't air it. If you don't think it's going to work, that's up to you. But we don't want people getting influenced by negative comments on socials where they might think, do you know what, I can't be bothered either, because that a comment can make a difference. Do you know what I mean? A negative comment can make a difference. So I think anything that anyone's trying to do something positive, then let's just keep it positive and just keep your negative opinions to yourself, if you wouldn't mind. Do you know what I mean? That's what I say to that.
Ask questions, by all means,
Yeah, ask
but
questions,
there's a way of doing it.
There's a way of doing it. Sometimes I see people poo-pooing stuff a lot. Do you know what I mean?
You'll get that. You will get that. Honestly, I mean, I always complain about one thing I was quite disappointed about, and that was when it came to getting signatures and trying to share a petition, and people didn't want to help out, and then it was such a struggle. Even raising money for these kind of things is always a struggle. Nobody wants to put their hand in the pocket. Nobody wants to share your things. It's like as if people want to see you fail. Do you understand? It's always been like that around me. And I don't really understand what it is in their minds that bothers them. To share a post takes 30 seconds. You're one of the people that could be affected.
Yeah.
And I've had people that never shared anything, but they had the courtesy to send me a message with a broken van and say, oh, I got broken into, I'll start sharing your stuff. I'm so sorry they didn't do it before. It's too late now.
Yeah.
Do you know what do you want me to say to you? I still said, I'm so sorry, I'll see if I can help you out.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was just thinking to myself, you're that same person I used to tag and I told you to share something and you never shared it. And I'm watching, you're sending me the pictures of your broken van.
Yeah.
Right? Because they thought, no, what happened to them?
Yeah, no, well...
This is what people don't understand. It's important to share it because my following isn't big. It's probably the smallest one out of all of them. Everyone's got more than me.
Yeah.
But you sharing it to a different audience would make a difference and educate someone else.
Yeah, you ain't, Dave.
So
We know who you are. Who are
Why
you?
are you not sharing, Dave?
I know, he just asked me to put this in.
Yeah,
I was just
he
cleaning.
just cleaned up the tool station.
If you've got any questions, we put Dave's number in the description.
Dave does really good CT1 videos, honestly. I was talking about it today as well. So I said, when you retire, I'm going to do some
He
CT1.
was like,
Did you remember?
He's done like a really good video of him fixing some Christmas decorations. He said I put music with it, like some Christmas music, and then it went into another Christmas music and a Tina Turner track. And I was like, wow, Dave, you're really good at this social media stuff, aren't you? Maybe you should work in the social media department. There's a nice place to retire to, in the Met Police.
And he throws in a cheeky gas expert and CT1 tag.
I tagged you. Shoaib was like,
look,
Shoaib was like, why is this dude tagging me?
He's watching all the videos.
Why is this dude tagging me?
Oh, it's so funny. Dave is
it's all
incredible,
good.
honestly.
It's all good.
Well, he's such a, like, he's very similar to me. I think we were similar.
No, he
traits.
looks younger than you.
No, not looks wise, but our personality wise, I think we get on well because he's again, if he goes after something, he doesn't stop. Because I know quite a few stories about him. He just keeps going till he gets it. And he's like, if it wasn't tools, so he's like, if it's not tools, it'd be something else.
Yeah.
Sausages to the back of a car.
Yeah. I think we should stop this podcast. It's getting late. Just do his van for
bang on an hour now.
For anything out there.
It is. Look, we'll try and get 20 seconds out of it, Shoaib. Anything else you want to talk about quickly?
No,
you've got 20 seconds, Shoaib. Sell yourself.
Sell this pen.
Can we catch you on OnlyFans or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Next thing now.
But no, thanks, guys. Thanks very much for sharing it all with us and coming on board to talk about it.
No, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.